Hi everyone, my name is Wawa and this is Nation Wars King of the Sea Tournament match number 3 for Team Singapore and Team Philippines, and it is game number 2 between HGHx spawning as the Blue Zerg and weechoochoo spawning as the light blue Terran, and we are gonna do this right here at Metalopolis. As you guys can see, they are pretty far across from each other, like the opposite sides of each other, so we're not gonna see, I think we're not gonna see any harassment or early harassment early on in this game. But you never know in these tournaments, you can never really tell, especially in a big tournament like this, the C tournament. So we can never really tell. As you guys, if you have watched the first game, we have seen a pretty good and pretty containing strategy from HGH, doing the baning bus and breaking down those walls, and then just after breaking down is just gonna be heading straight for the mineral line, and he's just gonna take out all those SCVs, and he just kept doing it and doing it until he brings out the spire and makes a mutalisk, and then again he also almost all went for those SCV one more time. So I'm pretty sure most of those kills came from those harvesters, and which is pretty good because a good contain should be made with killing SCVs and whatnot. So yeah, that's a pretty good matchup, and HGH did a pretty good job with it. As we see weechoochoo here going for the typical Wallen, 12 barracks, and it's gonna be followed by a supply depot fairly soon. And are we gonna see the typical thing for the Zerg player? Not really, because he has that spawning pool right now. Wow, pretty surprising. So I guess it did know, or he does know, that the Reaper isn't gonna come in for that early harass, as because he is not really wanting to research that Zergling speech, because we all know that it is gonna be just a drag for our economy and just gonna slow down our pace if we are gonna go for some higher tech units or for some early roaches early on. But he does need that gas pretty soon, even though I don't know what he's gonna make. But if he's gonna early expand, he should still get one, at least one extractor, because that is still a big factor in every game, as that allows you to get those higher tier units. So we are gonna see a queen being built even before those extractors. So I'm not really sure what his strategy is. Just putting off 3 drones in the mineral line. So this is not really a typical build for everyone, as it is. I don't really see any expansion right now, as those Zerglings are gonna try and bust down those walls, but he does see that they are already walled in, and he is not really gonna do that much damage. Anything else? Or was that a 7 pool? Huh, I didn't, maybe it was a 7 pool, but we just missed it. But I don't think it was, because that was a pretty late 7 pool. Even if you really didn't make any drones at all, or if you even make 9 drones, that's still pretty slow if it did go for the 7 pool. But I don't think he did. So yeah, it is still game on, and he's gonna be forced to get that extractor right now, and gonna be really forced to get some speed up, or that layer up really quick to go some higher units. As we are gonna see the same basic build from weechoochoo, except he is making the second barracks early on, except for getting that starport. So that really clearly tells us that he is gonna go for some bio units, or mostly bio units, and I don't think that weechoochoo is expecting this, because he is not really making up any build tech structures right now, as he is gonna try and go to early expand. Well, at least he's gonna go for an early expand right now, so it is a good time to expand, because Weechichu doesn't really expect this, as he is gonna make a tech lag and that factory, and it's gonna be helping his economy, or helping his tech upgrade even more, even before the starport comes down. As we see mules coming down, and for Weechichu gonna help him for that mineral boost that we always need, as we all know that every mule is gathers up 300 minerals, so that's always good to know and always good to use. As we see a Hellion here, 2 Hellions being queued up for Weechuchu, and he's gonna try to go for some early harassment, as this hatchery is still being made, and the RSB here is clearly seeing that hatchery being made and going down. So watch weechoochoo here already knows what to expect, as we see marauders here and some marines also going down. And we're just gonna wait and see if the Talion does go for the early harass, which is pretty important for every Terran player to go for the early harass, because we all know that every Zerg that doesn't get bothered with their tech is gonna be a very big problem in the future when the macro stages start. As we see a Roach Warren here being built, and finally that metabolic boost being learned by that Zerg player, and also internal pre-igniters. So we are gonna see those aliens gonna melt really soon, and with those pre-igniter upgrade, it's gonna just do a lot of damage to those probes, and also a stim pack upgrade. So that's clearly a sign that he is going for bio. So that just clears things up, but at least he still needs a starport just to make some medevacs, and it's gonna really help them if there's those zerglings and there are no roaches, or I mean they're gonna help with those roaches. And if there's no banelings, then these Zerg players are gonna have a big problem. I am completely sure about that. As you see HGH here putting his Zerglings in the middle of the map, and he might take this high yield pretty soon. I don't know, because he is really pretty secure right now, as we see no problem with those Terran units moving out pretty soon. But he did take out an Overlord, so that's gonna supply block, or no, it's a sacrificial Overlord, so that's not a big deal for HGH, as he is gonna be making a spine crawler in his expansion, which is always good to make a spine crawler over there, as I think he did see that Hellions gonna try to attack, but those Zerglings are gonna be trying to surround also these three Hellions, and one of them is gonna be surrounded, but no, is gonna be ultra maneuver by those Hellions. Good job getting those Hellions away, but I think 4 Hellions should be able to do a ton of damage, or just one blast from those Zerglings, and they're gonna be all toasted, especially with their pre-igniters, which does 24 damage to light. Damn, that's a lot of damage. And we see Marauders and Marine combination moving out here for the weechoochoo Terran, and he should be able to go and do a lot of damage with this push right here, as we do see there is no units at all for weechoochoo, and he doesn't even have a roaches yet, so that's not really good, as he is just getting his layer up and going. And here we go, the Hellions here gonna go and try to harass in the middle line, but no, he's just gonna be forced back, as he is gonna be waiting for those rest of the army, and one of those or two of those Hellions are gonna be taken out. So good surround by HGH with those Zerglings. That's gonna do a lot of damage with him. And we see more units, more Marauders, and a Hellion is gonna be coming in to support weechoochoo. And here we go, they're gonna take out that spine crawler really quick, and he's gonna take out that queen also, trying to get away, but it is not gonna be successful. And they're gonna just focus fire on this hatchery over here, but then this Zerg is gonna come in for the flank, but they're gonna fail, and thus roaches are gonna be finally coming in the area, but they are just too weak and too few in a number for this Marauders ball, and those Zerglings are gonna try and help out to finish them up, but those Marauders are really doing a lot of damage, especially to those roaches, which are really armored. But those roaches are gonna go down. One more roach just left, and this Hellion ball is gonna go and harass this main base of the mineral line, which is gonna do a lot of damage. But more Zerglings are gonna come out, but they are just roasted quickly by those Hellions. But those Hellions will get stuck, and they are gonna die. As we see more Marauders here, just focusing fire on this hatchery, and the hatchery is gonna go down. Broodlings are gonna come out and gonna try to take off all those Terran army units. And this Hellion right here is gonna finally get away, but one more Marauder is left behind, and he's gonna try one more to kill that Zergling, and he did. But I don't know, that's a good exchange right there. I don't know if the Zergling is ahead, but I'm pretty sure it's a big loss, because he did lose that hatchery of his naturals, so that's a big cutoff from his worker count. And he did lose a lot of workers. And also, look at that. Not too many units. Not too many harvesters. Only 11. Wow. That's not a good sign. But he does have a lot of Zerglings right here. And he should be able to lift up the supply depot really soon before those Zerglings do come in and try to go for harass. As these orbital right here just buying their time and just distracting everyone. All those marines. And those marines aren't really gonna be moving out, as he does need to take up all the supply depot just to block off the wall. And he does take out both those overlord. Here we go. The Zerglings right now are gonna go for some harassing, and he's gonna attack the marine and those Hellions. But he should have attacked that mineral line early on, but he did stop and try to kill off the Marauder army and the Hellion army, but they are gonna be failed. And PCBs moving out from the harvesting line, they're gonna try to help out and gonna kill all those roaches. So we really here. Oh man, weechoochoo losing also a lot of harvesters, but no fear, he still has 29 harvesters, so that's some good macroing skill for weechoochoo. Still pumping out all those SCVs, and he's not really in a big of a danger right now, as not like weechoochoo right here. Barely does any have units at all. Only have 2 roaches and a queen, as to 4 marauders and 5 hellions, and a marine for weechoochoo. And we do see a starport finally being made, actually 2 starports being made, so we are gonna see some banshees fairly soon. Also an armory going up, might go some for some upgrades. And is he gonna reach the cloak? I don't think so, which is not really important right now because he is right now owning the game, and he's just gonna try to do some more harassing here, but he is gonna be blocked up by those roaches as more land units are gonna come in. And we're just gonna be waiting to see if this Banshee army is gonna do a lot of damage or not, as he is still pumping out from these barracks. As we look at the production tab, cloak is being researched actually, and 2 Banshees on the way, but only 6 roaches, 7 roaches being produced. For HGH, he is in a big trouble because he doesn't really know that those starports are there, so he isn't gonna expect those banshees that are gonna be coming in, and these marauders are gonna do a lot of damage to the harvesters. Also, those Zillions are just gonna roast up all those drones, and they're gonna take them out one by one. How many roasters? How many harvesters do we have? Only 4. So this is not a good sign for HGH right now. Not looking good at all, but they still have the sizable army right now. But this is it for HGH. If it doesn't do a lot of damage, or if it doesn't finish the game with this push right now, it is gonna be GG for him. But unit wise, damn, he caught up. Weechoochoo doesn't have anything at all except those 2 banshees, which are really gonna do a lot of damage to that army. And HGH doesn't really have any anti-air, so it's gonna be a big problem for him. And a bunker gonna be going down for weechoochoo in his main base. He should just lift up this supply depots, just so that his main base is gonna be secure for at least a little bit longer. And here we go, these roaches are gonna move in, and the Zerglings are gonna be able to move in the main base, as those guys are gonna try to kill all these SCVs, but these SCVs gonna be being pulled off the line. Oh wow, look at all those SCVs, 34 SCVs all in all. That's just doing a lot of damage. And these roaches are gonna be able to come in also, and it's gonna be a big trouble for weechoochoo if he doesn't kill off all these roaches, as he still has those banshees and the main base, 2 banshees at least. And this will be it for HGH. This is the only army he has, and GG for HGH. Not a very good play for HGH right there. He was just out macroed by weechoochoo. Actually, weechoochoo only having 1 base and just macroing up in just 1 base right there. He did a lot of damage, and as we just see that Terran domination with the 1 base, it is pretty powerful. And that's it for game number 2. weechoochoo ties up HGH 1-1. Game 3 ace match coming right up.